In Afghanistan, ISIS Khorasan seeks to expand its ranks and develop the capability to inspire, enable, or direct attacks in the region and beyond, with the group's ultimate goal to attack the U.S. homeland. Amidst these challenges, strategic competition is deeply manifest in the region. The People's Republic of China aggressively expands its informational, military, and economic instruments of national power across the region. And now, Beijing seeks to establish its diplomatic influence. China, dependent on the region for over half of its imported crude oil and more than a third of all its natural gas, is also moving beyond energy-based investments to encompass physical and telecommunications infrastructure that advances its Belt and Road initiatives. 19 of 21 CENTCOM countries have signed a Belt and Road agreement with China. We are in a race to integrate with our partners before China can penetrate the region. Russia, on the other hand, seeks to expand its influence in Syria, seeking a permanent basing there and undermining our efforts towards stability and security. Putin seeks a foothold of influence in the Central Asian states, leveraging historical relations and a perceived decline in U.S. engagement to challenge our influence in this area of the world. With these challenges, the CENTCOM region holds the greatest risk of derailing the national defense strategy with a flashpoint international incident that may demand a response using unplanned resources or attention. That is why we require a sufficient and sustainable force posture to accomplish these missions without relying on additional forces. And to accomplish these strategic priorities, CENTCOM focuses on a strategic approach centered on people, partners, and innovation. People are our greatest asset and our most critical resource. Our partners are the nation's comparative advantage against competitors like China and Russia. And across CENTCOM, we cultivate deep, abiding partnerships that can serve as a hedge against threats in the region, while deterring Iran from its most destructive behavior. And China views our partners as merely customers and clients. Innovation of thought, innovation of process, innovation of concept, and technology extends the value of our partnerships, and innovation allows us to move faster, operate more efficiently, and increase progress across all operational efforts. So deter Iran, counter violent extremist organizations, and compete strategically are what we do. People, partners, and innovation, that is how we do them. In closing, let me thank you again for the support of our service members, civilians, and their families. For 40 years, much of that time in sustained combat and CENTCOM area of responsibility, the United States and the region relied on the American service member for the security and stability of the region and to advance American interests. Those men and women have fulfilled the original promise of this command and in some of the toughest circumstances, and we owe them a debt of gratitude. It is the greatest of honor of my lifetime to be there.
All right, this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, thither, because thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. I want to give all honor, all glory, all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the elders of the nation of Israel. Shalom to you brothers out there that are laboring, enduring the elements, making your body a living sacrifice while trying to seal the elect, making your calling election sure. And to you sisters, and also seeking out your own salvation. You know, I got to get that in. And also to you sisters out there that are learning, listening, applying, being obedient to your husband. Shalom, shalom. Brother Zachariah, come back to you with another Highways and Byways lesson. All right. And I want to call this lesson Stirring Up the Medes. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get into some articles. All right. So just bear with me as I get them pulled up. You know, if you watched the first video, I went into talking just, you know, about me being sick, you know. So Salakia, if y'all, you know, notice, you know, I haven't been able to put as many videos up as I normally do. You know, I put a lot of them up on the weekend when I'm off, but I try to get some during the week as well. But I really was under the weather, you know, and it was upset my stomach. I didn't want to be out here, you know, not to put too much information out, but if you have to run to the toilet, if you know what I mean, and you're standing out, you know, it's going to be kind of rough. All right. So I just wanted to bring that out, you know, let you guys know what was going on. All right. So here we go. Let me get this up real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and go with this first article. And it says 19 countries request to join BRICS with the goal to challenge the U.S. dollar, which we know the U.S. dollar is pretty much through. A lot of these countries do not want to deal with the dollar. All right. And some of the countries named, they got Indonesia, the UAE, which I believe that is Dubai, I think, or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Bahrain, Turkey, Egypt, Argentina, Mexico, and Algeria. Those are just some of them. All right, but it's 19 total, All right, and this one says major end-time prophecy players set to hold more greetings in Russia, which we know a lot of these countries, or certain of these countries, play a key role in prophecy. This is why, like, the news is always headlining on these countries, because they play a part in the downfall of Babylon the Great, which is America. Okay, so that's why that headline says what it says. All right, and the article says Turkey's defense minister says he planned to meet his Syrian, Russian, and Iranian counterparts in Moscow on Tuesday. The state-owned Anadolu news agency said, amid efforts to rebuild in Ankara-Damascus ties after years of animosity during the Syrian war, according to Reuters. Anadolu cited Defense Minister Hulusi Akar, if I'm saying it right, as saying the country's intelligence chief will also attend meeting in Moscow. Okay, this is a format that dates from last year as Russia seeks to normalize ties between Turkey and Syria. Turkey had been participating in the talks in the past, but they have not advanced as far as Moscow would like. Turkey faces elections in May and had a massive earthquake in February that has reduced Ankara's focus on these talks. All right, and there's more to it, but that just bring out just a little bit of that article. But yeah, these countries, man, they want to join BRICS and stuff like that. They're having meetings with Russia and stuff. So Babylon is scrambling around, man. They're losing allies, and then their enemies are getting stronger. Like I was just reading in Joel, beat your plowshares, and a lot of these nations are saying, for I'm strong. All right. Now, some of these countries wanting to join BRICS are supposedly allies to America, like I just said. But we know that in Obadiah 1 and 7, it has to come to fruition, all right? Which I'm going to bring that scripture out here real quick, just so that you see what I'm talking about. So just give me a second. Alrighty. Okay, this is the book of Obadiah, and this is verse 7, and it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border, the men that were at peace with thee, which a lot of these nations are at peace with Babylon, supposedly right now, but a lot of them want to join BRICS. Okay, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. All right, so they're gonna deceive Babylon and prevail against thee. See that they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him, and he's taking that wisdom away from Teman, that goes into Esau, Edom. They're losing their wisdom. So, they're all over the place, But a lot of these nations, man, they're getting tired of Babylon, all right? And I'm going to read a few articles here real quick just to show you, Here's this one from Bloomberg, and it's like, Kim's powerful sister slams old biting over nuclear threats. North Korea will boost nuclear deterrent. Kim Jong-un says. Biden says nuclear attack will be suicidal for Pyongyang or whatever. Like, I don't know, But yeah, they're saying things. All right. Here's North Korea. Again, blast U.S. South Korea summit deal for escalating tensions. All right, so there's that. This is Reuters, and it was saying even one American in Iraq is too many. Iran leader tells Iraqi president. So look, these nations, they don't even like the Edomites, man. They don't want them in their country. They're saying that's too much. Just one, that's bad, man. But this is what's going on. These countries are really getting tired of Babylon. All right. So all right. So with that being said, Babylon, aka America, definitely looking over her shoulder, and that's what Babylon's doing, looking over her shoulder. You know, they really can't trust their allies now. They looking over the show. They're watching the Israelites because the Israelites are waking up, which that's primarily their focus. But they also got these nations, you know, to worry about, because these nations, they know because of prophecy, these nations are going to turn on them. All right. So let me go ahead and jump back into some more articles. All right. Officials warn that China and Russia will exploit chaos if U.S. defaults. All right. So, you know, there goes that. You know, hey man, these Babylon is paranoid, man. And then there was some recent things that happened over there, over in Russia, okay, where there was I believe, an assassination attempt. I don't think they actually put it into those words, but there was a drone attack, and I've been meaning to put this out. I think this came out like 2 weeks ago or so. But there was a drone attack on the Kremlin, and they said it was trying to take out Putin. All right, but that's what this is CNN News, and it says Russia claims Ukraine targeted Putin in an attempted drone attack on the Kremlin. All right, so there's that, man. And there's a couple more. I think there was another article. Yep, and this one's End Times headline. It says Russia has just accused the U.S. of masterminding recent drone attack on Kremlin. So, you know, Russia is blaming the U.S. for that. All right. Now, there was also a train derailment. You know, we've been having a lot of those here in Babylon as of late. I mean, everywhere. You know, it's almost coming out to be like a trend. You know, it's like, you know, what's next? The next state, just about almost every state seems like having a train derailment. But this one happened over in Russia, and this is what the headline said. This is the Moscow Times, and it says Russian freight train derails after hitting explosive device. So there was an explosive device, you know. It was placed there for that reason, you know, which we know, you know, the UN and Babylon, man, are working together, coming up against Russia. You know, they keep poking that bear, man.
Oh boy, things are brewing up. So Russia renews missile strikes as Putin declares real war on Victory Day. Yes, Vladimir Putin came out and said that the West is waging a real war on Russia. He also said civilization is once again at a decisive turning point. And now, I think it's game on. According to a report, a Russian missile was fired into Poland. A Russian missile has been found in the forest in Poland, according to local media outlets. Here's another one talking about it. It's a Russian missile that is a Kh-55 cruise missile, 500 kilometers from the Ukraine border. That's pretty deep into their territory. We have Putin today signing a decree terminating arms treaty with NATO. Russia had already suspended the treaty in 2007 after NATO countries failed to ratify the agreement. This was supposed to limit military equipment in Europe, like tanks, armored vehicles, artillery, helicopters, and combat aircraft. Now they can place as much as they want. And that means NATO don't have to go by the rules anymore either. It's being said that yesterday Ukraine tried to attack Moscow with at least 3 drones. They were the UJ-22, there was no casualties, the drones were shot down. Israel is now reporting that over 100 missiles have been launched over their country. These came from Gaza, some of these hit southern Israel, as Israel has been hitting the Gaza Strip. Here's more confirming that some rockets hit the south and Tel Aviv was on a red alert. Poland will no longer call Kaliningrad by the Russian name. They will call it now by the Polish name. This coming as Russia and Poland are not getting along at all. We have reports that Chinese warships are circling around Japan, and that the U.S. aircraft carrier Ronald Reagan is preparing for a spring patrol. They said the Chinese warships have been circling the Japanese home islands for the last week. There's 5 ships in total. This coming as China slams Japan after the deployment of Patriot PAC-3 missiles near Taiwan, as they're saying the breach between Japan and China is certain to grow, meaning tensions are set to get worse. Oh yeah, I meant to say the nuclear football was spotted yesterday too by Vladimir Putin. As you can see, I'm right there holding the briefcase. Liz Truss is about to visit Taiwan to show solidarity against China. Let's see how China reacts to that. More news next.
All right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 17, read on down to 20. And it says, "Behold, I will stir up the Medes," and that's going into your Russians, "against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it." So, like, money and all that stuff is not going to be no good. It's not going to be able to sway the minds of these Russians. Okay, it says their bows, which is talking about their the missiles and things like that, their weapons. Okay, their bows shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And that's a missile. A missile won't have any emotions or nothing like that. Wherever it hits, it's just gonna hit and to wipe out and destroy. You can't sway the minds of you can't sway a missile. What I'm saying? It's gonna come and destroy. That's what that's talking about. All right. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. We know how Sodom and Gomorrah went out. That's how Babylon's going to go out. Okay. It shall never be inhabited. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. It's going to be like a desert. That's why it's mentioned in the Arabian. Neither shall these shepherds make their fold there. People ain't going to come here and and set up shop. This place is going to be wiped out, man. Okay? This is what's coming to this place, Babylon the Great.
What I'm about to show you is arguably the biggest story in the world right now, in my opinion, but it's being totally ignored by the mainstream media. Of course it is. They don't want you to know about it because it will upend the global world order. But first, the U.S. just announced they're getting ready for war with China and Russia simultaneously, because we can't just do one without the other, right? See, this is what happens when people start to lose power. They get very dangerous, and the U.S. is quickly losing power. This week, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin announced their new 2024 military budget, which aims directly at China. And get this is unbelievable. It includes a 40% increase in spending to attack China. The Pentagon recently said China is, quote, the most comprehensive and serious challenge to the U.S. national security strategy. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin are about to completely alter the international power structure and the monetary system. This is why they're getting ready for war. No other reason. The biggest story in the world happened this week in Moscow, and your mainstream media ignored it. This week, Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin signed 14 different documents in their face-to-face meeting. The biggest had to do with trade and currency. It's perhaps the biggest story in the world right now. National security is under attack because China is becoming an economic superpower.
This is Revelations 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, third woe, that's World War III. That's what that's talking about. Okay? See, Israel's waking up in the world too. These other nations, they're starting to wake up, and they're seeing Esau for who he is. They're seeing Esau's bullshit, seeing the lies and stuff and his sorcery and his witchcraft through his media and stuff like that. It's not, people are coming up off that wine. All right, they're seeing him for the devil that he is. All right, and they're making Russia out to be the bad guy, but we see America's rap sheet. We see the rap sheet that they've had. Ever since Edomites came here and did what they did to the natives. Gad and Issachar and Reuben. All the tribes, the Northern Kingdom tribes, man. From Canada on down, to Argentina, all the the Caribbean islands and everything. This devil did a number on the tribes, man. And ain't no one forgot. And then the stuff that he's done to these other nations as well. They done stuff to everybody, man. But the thing about it is that when they touched the Israelites, that's when he fucked up. Excuse my language, but hey, it is what it is.
Russian thing. Kind of crazy to think that they could weaponize our information like that, right?
And I find it funny all of a sudden America's talking about Russia, Russia, Russia when you sold our information to the national bankers. You've been spying on us since 9/11 with the Patriot Act. What the hell are you talking about? See, I don't get into that nonsense. Russia, calm down. Let's go back over here. America, what the hell are you doing? What have you been doing? You've been spying on us with all social media platforms since the very first one called 6 Degrees. That's before MySpace, before PhotoBucket was added to MySpace, before Facebook, before Instagram, before all of those. America sold the access to the minds of the people to vested interest groups, private corporations, the military, the CIA, and the FBI, so that we could be investigated in a way where we would accept it, infiltrated in a way where we would accept it. You pointing to Russia? Hold on. When it comes to America, I'm looking at what you have done to the people here. They always want to have us look at some boogeyman out there. You the boogeyman! Your policies that have been very detrimental to the freedoms of the American people, white, black, and everyone all in between. You have violated all of the constitutional rights of the people on a consistent basis and saying it is for the greater good.
All right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, and I'm going to start at verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? This is Esau. This is what that's talking about, Esau, because when you think about it, you know, and it's really going into America, because when they go in these other countries, they make the place a wilderness by dropping bombs on these people, man, wiping the place out, you know, in the cities, and they never open up the house of his prisoners and stuff like that, which his prisoners are the Israelites, you know. They still got us in captivity, man, you know, whether you want to believe it or not, you know, and this devil, man, he's done a number. But people are going to say, is this the man? You know, because these other nations, for the longest, they, even when you go into like a Ham, you know, they know that they being oppressed, but they don't know who the boogeyman is, which is, it's obvious, but they don't want to really admit it. You know, there's some over there that are seen, because, you know, there's Jake's over it too. So Jake is know that damn well Esau is doing it, and they speaking out against him. But Ham won't say a word, because they love Esau, you know. That's why Ham gonna get his as well, because see, he had a hand in our downfall as well, okay. But Yahweh is pulling all the strings, and when it's all said and done, like Ezekiel 38:4, it tells you he will put his hooks in the jaws, you know, talking about the Russians, you know, pulling them, you know, because like I said, the coming and goings of men is his, Yahweh, you know. So he's orchestrating this thing. And so ultimately, with Babylon poking the bear, you know, which is Russia, you know, Yahweh's doing that, you know, to get them in that mode to where they're going to do what they do to this place and bring this place down. All right. But Babylon, man, you just need to count your days, man, because your time is almost up. And, you know, you got to face the wrath of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and end it on that. Lord willing, this was edifying. Just wanted to give you a quick, straight to the point lesson out here. And I want to give all honor, all glory, all praise unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the others of the nation of Israel. Shalom to you brothers out there, man, and you sisters. To the next one, Shalom.
But the big thing here is that Putin is saying, he's not saying Ukraine, he's saying America and Europe. If we don't stop our plans, then you'll face not only God's judgment, but mine as well. Okay? He can't be any more clear and any more direct than that. That is exactly why that speech didn't make it into any American newspapers at all.
So you just heard him say that, all right, in that last statement, that if they don't stop with their plans, they're gonna face the Most High's judgment, in which ultimately the Lord's gonna use Russia and their allies to destroy this place, and that's in the will of the Most High. That's his judgment.